So, hi everybody. This is Diane Gilson with InfoPlus Consulting and BuildYourNumbers.com. This week, what we're going to be doing is looking at applying a prompt into the book called The Coaching Habit: Say Less, Ask More, and Change the Way You Lead Forever. Now, this is going to be really interesting because I also have a group of 6 other coaches sitting in the room. We're going to get the lowdown and see what they think of the results. So we're going to move through here while we're getting together. I like to just do this introduction. AI is happening now, and it's here and moving rapidly. Companies at all different levels are adopting it very quickly. Employees who know how to use it can help their employers and become more highly valued. And people who don't learn how to use AI could very well be left behind. And success anymore is less about what you know or what you've learned back in prior schooling. It's what you can do. Of course, from a financial perspective, the reason that we're interested in AI now is each of us wants to be able to work faster, smarter, and more efficiently in their day-to-day work. And AI means that our work can be more enjoyable and we each become more valuable in our roles. It also means our company can provide services or products in more elegant ways, which means that we can earn more if we're doing our work in a better and higher level. And for our clients, it means that if we can teach them how to use AI, we can become their heroes, or if nothing else, we can apply AI to their businesses and help them so that we also can become their heroes. So, in agreements, we're recording this, and our recordings will be available in 5 to 7 business days. If you aren't already registered, you can send your name and email to AI and Tech at infoplusacct.com for a link. We do close the doors about 10 minutes after we start so that we don't have to try to repeat what's going on with the prompt. And that makes it so that people who do join on time get the full benefit and aren't interrupted by late arrivals. This is confidential information that you're working with. If you have confidential information, you don't have to put confidential information in if you don't want to. You could put something make believe in. But as consultants, we're generally prescribed to work on our work. So if you work on your own work, you're going to get a whole lot more value out of it. So think of something that you want to apply for today's prompt. And then, of course, please don't share with other people in your breakout room anything that is confidential. And there will be some breakout sessions. There will be a timer on your screen when you're in breakout showing you how much time you have left. And then there's going to be a short delay when you come back in from your breakouts. Don't leave because we haven't shut down the Zoom meeting. It feels like it when it happens, but don't leave. We'll be back. How I got involved in AI. I started exploring it well over a year ago, and I got hooked. I used it a little bit, and then I used it a little bit more, and then I used a little bit more, and then I wanted deeper learning. So I joined the Simple AI Consultants group, where we have more than 100, I think around 120 AI focused consultants, where we share AI training and creative applications. We get to learn from each other how we're using it for our different clients and in our own businesses. They have some fantastic training options, free and paid, and I can provide information to you about those if you want to reach out to me. And one of the things that they do have is they will show you through simple how to use it for every role within every organization. So no matter what level you're at, you can use it in your organization for training purposes. Incredibly customizable kinds of programs that they have. In today's workshops, our flow is going to be that we're going to download and save this PDF slide deck from the Zoom chat. So you guys should be able to look in your Zoom chat and see this slide deck because we have various links and so on if you want to go back in and look at it. And then we're going to also provide you with the prompt that we're going to be looking at today. Now, before you do much with that prompt, I'd like to just do kind of a quick walkthrough on what's in the prompt so you get a feel for that particular thing, and then you'll be able to go ahead and apply it to your own circumstance or your own business. Today's objective is that we're going to ask ChatGPT to help you apply ideas from today's book to your work or business. And some idea starters is to think about any of your biggest coaching challenges. And of course, we have, no matter what we're doing, we don't have to be a company owner. We all have coaching challenges in our life. If you're a company owner, maybe it's an unreliable employee, or you've got a hardworking but stressed out employee. Dealing with a troublesome client, how do you coach your way through that circumstance? Or helping potential clients commit to making a change, because all of our clients just love to make changes, right? There's a little coaching can be involved in that. Or maybe how do you interact with a child who's always on their phone? So those are just some ideas. Start thinking for yourself, maybe something that has been a coaching challenge or circumstance in your recent past. Just make a note for yourself, because otherwise sometimes you get into these and you go, what what is that? It takes a couple minutes to even think of something. So we're giving you the heads up before we start into that prompt. So what we're going to do is we'll spend about 12 minutes working on your own individual results, and 12 minutes to collaborate in our breakouts to discuss your results. And I've got something on a reflection screen, so you might want to do a little screenshot of that when we get into that section. And then we'll spend about 5 to 8 minutes with group takeaways and wrap up. I also will have an AI tip to share with you. We do different ones each time that we do these presentations, and that will get us started. Now, what I'm going to do is, actually, the tip will wrap us up pretty much. So on today's prompt, I'll just walk you through, and it's a good thing on the front end. What happens is ChatGPT will remember things about you, and if you aren't subdividing things out into separate kinds of files, you might want to ask ChatGPT on the front end to ignore any prior memories you have if you don't want them pulling in memories from different places. And then
Yes. Just a quick interruption. I wanted to let everybody know that in the chat, I have pasted our ChatGPT prompt flat text file so that you can download it and use that for your ChatGPT conversation today.
Yes, and when we're ready to do that, I just ask you guys to hold off so I can walk you through the prompt. So thanks. And I did not introduce one of my co-hosts is Laura Bell. She's my COO. And our other co-host is Rachel Foster, and she's somebody who has helped us set up a lot of the background Zoom things. I'd just like to introduce you guys. Now, maybe I know we don't normally do this, but let's really quickly go around the room and introduce yourself, maybe starting around the room here. I'll start with Dan on my left. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Dan Bauman, heavy into the construction industry, teaching software for contractors and doing home design. I guess I wasn't prepared for this, but anyway, I'm glad to be here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Justin Landry, owner of JL Freelance Coaching Consultant, and very interested in the AI technology we're learning about today. Great to be here.
Hey everyone, I'm Tom Houghton. I am also a consultant. I'm seeing a trend here. I love technology, help folks with marketing and automating their businesses.
Hi, I'm David Luperger, again in this group of consultants, and I work with contractors on their transition and succession planning. Thank you.
And I'm a business coach and trainer, and I'm excited to be here. Thanks, Diane, for inviting us.
All right, rounding out our table here. I wish you could see it, but we're all sitting here around this table with our laptops out. My name is Ed Earl with Priority One Projects. I am a construction project manager and owner's rep in San Diego. And I've actually used ChatGPT before for creating Gantt chart schedules, and what I'm interested in learning more.
Thanks so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. And everybody move their schedule around here so we can do this today. That's great. The opening on the prompt, as I mentioned, is you can decide if you want to ask ChatGPT to not remember things or not remember prior memories, or you can not even use that because maybe you do want it to remember other things it already knows about you. We're asking it to give us a 1,000-word summary of the main concepts in the coaching habit. Now, I will say that I cut this down when I actually went out and got the information. It gave me 7 different things out of this book, and I went, that's a little bit much for a 1-hour workshop. So I narrowed it down a bit, but we're going to get some of the really big concepts out of there. And it shows some of those learning objectives there, the 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it's going to ask you some questions. I set up questions for it to ask you about your role and your company and so on. So those are the pieces in the prompt. And then it's going to ask questions. You're going to fill those in. I added this metaphor, but you can set up your own metaphors, because lots of times having a metaphor helps you learn things and pick up on things more quickly. And at the conclusion of the information, ask if there are any other specific circumstances. And you could go on forever with the different circumstances that if you wanted coaching on those things. But in this case, maybe might have one more. And then when you're all done, ask ChatGPT to let you know. I'm rolling down here to say, how long would it have taken me to come up with what we've gotten here from this prompt? How much time did we save by using a prompt to do this? So everybody go ahead, and I'm going to start the timer, and I will mute myself and everybody can work.
Yep. And just a quick overview for those who haven't used ChatGPT very often, you can do a Control A and a copy and then paste it into your ChatGPT prompt. It doesn't have to be ChatGPT. It can be any of the tools that are, whether it's Microsoft Copilot, something like that, but copy from that text file, paste it into your ChatGPT window, hit enter, and then it will come back and start asking you questions. Thanks, Diane.
Yeah, and is everybody in ChatGPT? I'm seeing a lot of nods around the table. Is everybody able to copy and paste into ChatGPT the prompt? If you look in the chat for the file, you don't have to download it. Laura, why don't you tell them how to just open the file without downloading?
Sure. If you go to the chat window and click on the file itself, it will prompt you to ask you where you want to download it, and you can put it in your downloads folder, wherever. And then once you've actually downloaded it, you can actually go back to your chat window, click on the file again, and it will pop it up in whatever your default flat text editor is, for example, Notepad. And that way, you can see the contents of that file pretty easily.
So are people pretty good? I'll look around the table to nod. Is everybody accessing the prompt? You want to copy the whole prompt. Yeah, the little slashes are just dividers. That's all. The little slashes don't mean anything other than to divide the text out, make it a little easier. No, you copy the whole prompt, copy the whole thing. So right click.
Control A.
Yep, you can do Control A. Will highlight everything. Yes, the entire prompt. Yes. It will start asking you questions and so on. So I designed this so that you don't have to go in and make modifications to the prompt. I set it up so that it's going to go through a process to ask you questions. Could you put the prompt back in, because Justin had to come back in again? Teamwork.
I'm dragging and dropping it, and I am sending it out. So you should see the coaching habit prompt.txt file again in your chat window. Okay, we've got a thumbs up to go. Everybody go to work. I'm going to start the little timer. I'm going to put that over here, and we'll work on this for about 12 minutes. I will mute myself and let everybody work quietly. Our time is up. So thank you, everybody, for participating in this. And again, the idea is for all of us to realize that there are a lot of maybe unexpected applications that we can use ChatGPT for. And books are a great way, because there are fantastic business books out there that can help us in so many different ways. So we've gone past our library time. And the notes out here was, if you don't like what you saw, go ahead and talk back to it. Pretend it's an assistant that is not going to give you a hard time. Just interact with it. So in the breakout rooms, if you can choose somebody to take notes
and share some of the takeaways that people in the group encountered as they went through the process. They don't all necessarily have to be positive takeaways. It might be, oh gosh, it didn't give me what I wanted, and then I had to tell it to do something different, whatever the case was. And then we're going to discuss the results of those things when we get back together again in about 12 minutes. And if you wanted to leave the breakout room, you could hit the leave button and come back into the main session, but there's not a lot going on out here. So probably you don't want to leave. Just stay in your breakout room. And normally what we would do is do a recording of me running the chat in the background, but we're going to do that separately for the recordings. I'm going to put this screen up on the reflections, and these are some idea starters about, was there anything that surprised you? Were there any of those things that felt most useful and why? And then, of course, sub questions in there. And then what challenges or barriers might come up if you try to apply those suggestions? Again, just idea starters. I think we're good.
Diane, I
And
just wanted to let you know we won't be doing an extra breakout room, it looks like.
Lori's out there. Lori, you want to
Yep,
go
Lori.
ahead and you'll have some reflections when we get back together as a group. So
Absolutely.
that'll be great. And of course, many of the people in this group, so that's going to be fun. So great. Thank you. I'll
All
mute
right.
again, and then everybody can do their breakout thought process. So we've had 6 consultants here talking about various aspects of what they were seeing. And Lori, I'm going to put you on the hot seat first and say, what did you find when you went through this? And I will mute myself. Give me a second, and then you can talk.
So a part of the reflections is taking a look at what surprised me about the response. And I'm still amazed with ChatGPT and its ability to quickly summarize materials that are out there and then answer questions I may put in that sometimes I don't even know what I'm writing when I put in the question. I used the prompt that Diane requested, and I mentioned the fact that not only am I a QuickBooks Pro advisor, coach, and trainer who specializes in patiently teaching people skills using software and computers, but also that I do run into challenges because I have to coach my sister. And we all know how it is when you're trying to coach family on the side. I also noted that sometimes people get frustrated with the technology challenges. And for me, with all of the technology changes and programs and applications that continue to change right now, seems every day I go into a program and something new, something moved, terminology changed, color changed, they redid the website, whatever it is. I find it so frustrating that when I'm teaching and coaching others, it's challenging to be able to present that you know exactly what you're doing when the platform you've been using for so long has suddenly shifted and changed. And ChatGPT came back with some really good suggestions on how to address that and how to incorporate that in my coaching, specifically being consistent and addressing the fact that the program changed and that we're going to work through it together. We're going to take a look and identify what the right way is to get this done. So I really found that very helpful and supportive in coaching me to be a better coach, in saying, this is okay, this happens, and here's how you're going to handle it when it happens. So that was something that I really found encouraging and helpful. I pressed GPT like I like to do and asked it to provide me with 5 steps or things that I can start doing on a regular basis as a reminder for me to be a better coach and to really switch from being a mechanic to being a gardener, which was part of the prompt that was in there. It gave me 5 easy steps to transition from being a mechanic to being a gardener in my coaching, including pausing before fixing a problem, using the question awe, which I guess is a big catchphrase, and what else? And what else? And shifting the focus back on the client and what their issue is and how we can really identify what the real challenge is for them. So it was good. I really learned a lot, and I've got pages and pages of notes now to keep in my arsenal for when I need to refresh my memory on what this is and how it works and how I can be better at doing my job.
Wonderful. Thanks, Lori. And Lori is somebody who now we have been using, I think, about 6 to 7 months now, our company, and continuing to use ChatGPT all the time. And she is just an enthusiastic user and really jumps in. And that's what happens with a lot of people that I've talked to is the more they use it, the more they use it. So now from our group, who's going to be the spokesperson? I'm going to guess who it is, but somebody, Tom? Okay, go ahead, Tom.
I think we all agreed that obviously it was a great exercise having it broken out, having it ask questions and prompt you. I think some of the things that stood out to all of us is that there's definitely good content here that you can use and take away. I can keep going. I want to be sensitive on time too, but I guess we could maybe jump onto a couple of the reflection questions. That'd be good. I think it was a great idea in the prompt using the metaphor thing, because I agree. Obviously, we all try to do that and relate things to our lives, and using metaphors is a great way to do that. So having the technology bend its framework to give you suggestions as a metaphor was a really smart way of making sure it's easily understandable. And then there's application points that we can look at for that. And I think to the last point, that what challenges or barriers might come up when applying these suggestions. I think I shared one of my challenges, which was I thought one of the suggestions was not very helpful. Using your own human brain to augment the AI to make sure that it's giving you what you need out of it.
Thank you, Tom. And you acted brilliantly as a spokesperson. Thank you. And Tom has a little bit type of a different business than a lot of us do. He's handling software and software support, some very specialized software that's very cool. He's been telling us about. Hopefully we can share that more with other people later here. So I would just say thank you. I'm not going to do a whole lot here. We've done our takeaways. I like to spend just a few minutes here and talk about some of the things that we do at buildyournumbers.com, the very quick commercial of, and all the links. These are all the various things on the left side that we've done in the past related to job costing and desktop and so on. We now have our newer pro advisor who is advanced certified in QBO. So we're now handling QBO. If you want this little giveaway, the 10 ways AI training transforms teams and drives results, you can send an email there. And if you want to talk to me any further about some of the special things that we can offer for you, both free and paid, just make an appointment with me at calendly.com-info-plus. And here's our AI tip. Just something about how to organize your chats. The most recent chat that you touch moves to the top of your list on the left-hand side of the screen. You can use naming processes to help you locate specific ones. You can use Control+F and look for the gold bars. So you put a keyword in, Control+F for find. It will help you find among all your chats. But and I say latest, now it's a whole month old or so. So that makes it really old out in the software world. But you can use projects. And in the projects, it's going to, individual projects do not retain the memories from what I understand. And so that's one way. If you've got different clients and you want to put different information in about different clients, that can help you keep the memories from bleeding over. You can add individual chats into your projects. Maybe you forgot to start out in a project, and then you go, oh, this would be really good for one particular client. You can drag it into the project. And you can't drag and drop GPTs into the projects. And here I said cannot drag and drop, but I think I intended to say can drag and drop because I've dragged and dropped things up into projects before. So that wraps everything up. And yeah, we ran a couple minutes over, but I think we did well. So thank you, everybody. And we'll go ahead and stop our recording and appreciate everybody being here today.